What's up guys, welcome. Today I want to teach you guys how to draw a man versus a woman. A while back I saw some people getting mad over a male versus female drawing tutorial on X, and I thought this should absolutely not be a controversial topic. So that's why I'm stepping in. Unk is here to help, okay? Watch me get cancelled. Now, contrary to popular belief, the key differences between male characters and female characters is not in their hair or their eyelashes or their makeup. It actually goes a little bit deeper than that, and by deeper I mean under your skin. This is the skull of my enemy. This cute little fella right here, this is where all of the differences lie. Males tend to have larger, thicker, more developed bones than females. Why, you ask? Well, it's because of the amount of testosterone in our bodies that affects bone development during puberty. Our brows tend to grow thicker, our noses tend to grow thicker, our jaws tend to also grow a lot bigger. An easy way to remember this is men have thicker skulls. Literally and figuratively. Now, in general, this bone development difference between males and females tend to lead to males having thicker brow ridges, larger noses, longer faces, especially proportionally speaking at the bottom half of the face due to the length and thickness of the jaw. Now, of course, you might question this because it's coming from the mouth of a fool like me, but if you look at the works of all the pros, the likes of Shi-Yoon Kim, who's worked on Spider-Verse, the likes of Glenn Keane, a Disney legend, or in most recent memory, K-pop Demon Hunters, you will notice that in all of these male character drawings, the most accentuated features on the male characters tend to be the jaws, the noses, and the brow ridges. They tend to have a larger, more pronounced bone structure, whereas if you look at the female characters, they are much more rounded, much softer. Their features are daintier and a lot smaller. Now, because their faces are smaller, less pronounced, it also tends to make their eyes look larger in comparison. And if you still don't buy into this structural difference, just look at some of the characters who are not even human. How can we tell, for example, that Nala is a female, whereas Mufasa is a male? Well, look at the structural differences in their bones. Look at Mufasa's chin. Bro is straight Mogget. Even in 101 Dalmatians, where the characters have a pretty similar build, look at the nose ridge on our guy here. That is pronounced. Look at Shrek and Fiona. Okay, look at the ratio between the top half and the bottom half of his face versus Fiona's face. Look at how much more developed his jaw is. It's all in the bones. Those are the anatomical differences between males and females. Now, the other differences like makeup, like hair, like the way you dress, those are cultural elements. Those can support masculinity or femininity, but everything has to work together. Everything is on a part of the spectrum, and when you combine all of these elements, you get a character who looks more masculine, more feminine, or maybe more androgynous. Now, let me just show you guys some examples of this, okay? Now, of course, there are always exceptions to these rules, but it's always good to learn the rules so that you know how to break them, how to bend them, how to use them to your advantage. This is an androgynous character. Androgynous means they could pass for male or female depending on the way they present themselves culturally. This is a male head based on the differences in male and female bone structure. And this is a female head. Now again, these are very stereotypical, but these are good rules to learn. Now as we toggle from the male head to the female head, look at the key differences in their anatomical structure. With the eyes and the brow as an anchor point, really what's changing mostly is the bottom half of the face. The male character will have a much more protruding brow ridge, will get a much larger and more pronounced nose ridge, again due to the bone density in the male skull, and the male character will have a longer, more pronounced, more grown out jaw. So proportionally speaking, if we measure from the top of the head of our generic male character to the bottom of the chin, you'll notice that the eye line sits a lot higher on this overall ratio, versus on the female character, you can see the eye line sits much lower. So in terms of the ratio, there's more here and less at the bottom. Now again, if I toggle the male face on and off, you can clearly see the difference here. Now, one of the key things that I try to do here is not have any hair or change the shape of the eyes, because I want you to see the key difference in the actual bone structure itself. Now, do all people look like this? Of course not. I don't even look like this, okay? I wish I looked like that. So if you're someone who keeps drawing more feminine characters and you're not sure how to apply that to a male character, well, all you've got to do here is let's move down the face, okay? Start off with the brow ridge. Make the brows look a little bit more pronounced. Make them look like they're protruding a little bit. And then you can make the nose a little bit more defined, a little bit larger, again, due to the bigger bone structure. As you do that to the nose, you're also going to want to do that to the rest of the silhouette of the face. So make the jaw a little bit larger as well. Make the jaw thicker, larger, longer. Now, when you make the jaw longer, you're also going to have to move the mouth down a little bit and allow it to fill in the space between the bottom of the nose and the chin. Now, of course, when you have a character who's built like this, it's very awkward for them to have a thin neck. And men tend to carry more muscle on their upper body, so that's going to show itself in the neck, especially right here in where the neck actually connects Now, if you're asking why do males have thicker necks and bigger muscles on their upper bodies, well, it's very simple. Men are ooga booga, we fight, right? We have to use our upper bodies to punch each other. That's also why our skulls are thick, so that we can dish out the ooga booga punch and take the ooga booga punch. Now, same thing goes vice versa. If you have a very masculine presenting character and you want to make them look more feminine, all you've got to do is shrink the brow ridge. You're also going to move down, shrink the nose, make it more delicate, make it more dainty. You're going to shrink the silhouette of the face, just like that, and then you're going to bring the mouth up to fill in the space between the nose and the chin. You don't want a huge thick neck for a dainty face like this, so you want the build of the neck and the upper body to match the face of your character. These are simple anatomical structural differences that are absolutely proven to work by all of the pro artists who have come before us. Just look at all your favorite Disney classic animation characters, okay? A lot of them follow this rule. So these are anatomical differences. These are key structural differences that you have to be aware of when you're drawing masculine or feminine characters. But bone structure is not the only indicator you can use to convey the femininity or masculinity of your character. You can also use cultural elements. Culturally speaking, makeup like this, darker eyes, redder lips, and redder cheeks tend to be associated with more feminine characters. And to top it all off, if you add long hair, this is also another indicator of femininity in a cultural context. So almost every indicator in this drawing now is pointing us towards the fact that this is a woman. It's almost undeniable. Now I want to show you something cool. You can actually apply a more feminine cultural indicator, like hair, to a more masculine character. Now you've created someone who might be Tarzan. And you can also apply makeup to your more masculine looking character as an indicator of femininity. Now, as you guys can see, he will be, should I say he or the? But see, this is the reason why I think it's so important to understand the reason, because then you can actually break the rules. You can play around with the rules. Now, if you apply a slightly more masculine hairstyle to a masculine face, you can see there's almost now no doubt in your mind that this is a man. It's all just an illusion. It's a way to trick your brain into thinking, ah, yeah, that's a man, that's a woman. Yeah, okay, I get it. Now, we take the same man and we put a cultural indicator of femininity on him, such as makeup. Now your brain is a little bit confused. Your brain's like, oh, okay, maybe your brain likes it. But at the end of the day, this all starts with the bone structure, and you can really actually push just how much you exaggerate this. Like, for example, if you really just want to masculine max your character, you want to turn the masculinity scale up to 99, boom! You could. As long as you know the direction to push it, you can push it. And push it I will. Look, I'm just going to keep pushing it, and as long as the bone structure is here, you can still tell this is a man, right? It's because it doesn't matter how much I push this, I'm still exaggerating the more masculine side of his features. That's still a man. Same thing for women. Like, you can really push the femininity scale, right? Still beautiful. There you go, guys. See? Man, woman. Man, woman, man, woman. Now, there's this one tweet that made a point that says women's beauty standards focus more on youth because the differences between the males and the females tend to just look like age differences, which is actually a very good observation. That is actually kind of true because females don't go through puberty the same way that males do. Female bones don't develop and densify the same way that males do. So female faces tend to have a more pre-puberty teenage boy look, which is why when I put this male passing hair on the female face, look what happens. Kind of looks like a boy, right? Or a masculine woman. I don't know. It could be a distinguished young man with a bright future or a woman who works corporate. But my entire point is, none of this should be a controversial topic. None of this should be hard to talk about. This is, as an artist, a part of your academic studies. This is a part of basic human anatomy. And understanding the fundamental bone structures between more masculine and more feminine characters, between males and females, will absolutely help you in designing more compelling characters that look different from each other. You can truly create brilliant masterpieces like this. Where I genuinely tend to see a lot of beginners go wrong is they tend to focus on the eyelashes, on the hair, on the dressing style, instead of actually digging a little deeper and looking at the skull, looking at the anatomy. So maybe you can now take one of your drawings of either a man or a woman and try to make them more masculine or more feminine. Maybe try to change your man into a woman or change your woman into a man and see what happens. See if the rules actually work, because I promise you they will, okay? If they don't work, you did something wrong. So there you go, guys, a nice and and simple, easy walkthrough of the key differences between male and female characters and how you can draw them differently. I really hope that learning these basic rules helps you make more compelling characters so that you can bend the rules, break the rules, and use them to your advantage. And of course, the rules never apply to everybody. You always have exceptions, right? There's always women out there who are more masculine passing in their features, and there's always men who are more feminine in their features. And that is the beauty of life. Everyone's different. If everyone looked the same, it'd be pretty damn boring. Remember guys, the rules are not words to die by, but they're just a simple guide to help you along. Guys, if you're watching this video right now, this is your last chance to get a burb. I am getting rid of him. He's available for adoption right now on samdoesarts.com. Don't miss this opportunity, guys. You're going to regret it for the rest of your life. We got a little burb keychain too. Look at him. What a precious little man. Look at that. Oh. samdoesarts.com. By the time you guys see this video, there will be less than 1 week left. I love you guys. That being said, guys, this is actually a shortened, condensed version of our Patreon tutorial on how to draw men versus women. So if you guys want to see more in-depth versions of these tutorial videos, head over to my Patreon and check that out. I have a backlog of 20 plus videos right now. Should be plenty for you guys to binge. Again, thank you guys so much for all of your support on Patreon as well as on YouTube. Truly means the world to me. And it means the world that you're placing your trust in me on your art journey. Me of all people. That's crazy, bro. If I were you, I would not. Subscribe if you guys want to see more art-related content, and I will see you guys on the next video. You know what, matter of fact, if you don't subscribe, you're going to end up like this. I promise you that. See this? You see how clean the skull is? You know how I got it that clean? I ate the flesh off these bones with my own lips. I bit into it, I slurped it, and then I sucked it dry. Pause.